Hey, it's Adele from Let's Get Inkie, and we're diving into my, is it 8 by 8? Yes, I think it's 8 by 8 inch Dilutions Creative Journal today. And this was a journal that I originally started a couple of years ago to do Inktober. And if you haven't heard of Inktober, it's a prompt challenge, and they give you a word every single day, and you're meant to make a drawing using that word as inspiration. And I decided to do brush lettering instead of drawing. And I lasted about 4 days, and then the journal sat untouched for a really long time. And so I decided a while ago that I wasn't going to buy new journals. I decided this last year. Wasn't going to buy new journals until I used up some of the ones that maybe only had a few pages done. Let me know in the comments if you have journals like that in your stash. It's really hard when you start a journal and then you just don't like what you've done in it. It does make it very hard to go back to. But my goal for this journal is to cover up what I don't like and embrace what I do like. So I really liked this quote and how I had written it with I think it was a Tombow dual brush marker. And so I decided to keep that section, and that's what my goal is, to just cover up what I don't like, because my motto is you can always cover it up, and you can. There's always black paint, unless you stuff up the black paint and don't like black paint. It might be harder to cover up, but you can still collage over the top of it. Layers, it's all about the layers, peeps. So today we're going for a bit of a monochromatic look, which is something that I love to do, especially with blues. I find that there is just such a range of blue paints and things available to use in collage, and it's just a really fun colour to have a play with. So I've got these two girls who are wearing some denim, and I'm just using a glue stick to stick it down. I did put white gesso over the paper at the start, because I don't really like, this paper has a creamy tone to it, and I'm more of a fan of a crisp white page, and so I do usually put some gesso on it just to make it a bit whiter, even if I'm not even if I'm going to cover up the complete background. I never know if I'm going to use a wet medium like watercolor, or if I'm going to use something like acrylic. So I'm chopping this poor lass's legs off, just because I rathered her just in the shirt. And I'm also trying to use up my paints. And I filmed a video on Patreon last year, I think it was towards the end of last year, where I went through my extra mixed media supplies, and I did lots of swatches and had a bunch of fun playing with those. And I came across these Dina Wakley heavy body acrylic paints. Now these would be probably about 5 years old, and some of them are a little extra heavy bodied and towards the end of their lifespan. And so I'm trying to get through them just so that I can actually enjoy them before they do become too far gone that I can't use them anymore. So I grabbed a couple of different blue tones, and I'm just going around these girls, spreading out the colour here, there and everywhere. I love this colour on the far right here, this kind of, I would call it a sky blue. It's a little bit darker than a sky blue actually. I had extra paint, so I grabbed my Jamie journal, which is an altered book that I made. I made that into a journal also over on Patreon, and all of the process videos for that are there too. That's been a really, really fun book to work in, and I'm getting there slowly. My goal is to have it done this year. I would really love to have it finished this year. It would be one of my favourite journals that I've worked in so far. I'm currently working, actually that's something I haven't thought about. How many journals am I working in at the moment? So I've got this 8 by 8 one that I'm working in right now. I've got my Jamie journal. I've got my denim journal, which is the Dina Wakley denim one, which I've got couple of process videos for. I've got a small A5 Dilutions one. I've got an A4 Dilutions one. I've got a white Jane Davenport one. And then my traveller's notebook as well, if you call that a journal. Oh, and my Hobonichi as well. Just a few journals. How many journals are you working in at the moment? Are you a multi-journal at the same time person, or a single journal until it's finished? I like working in different ones, and I never used to. I always used to just stick to one journal, and I thought I had to finish it before I could start a new one. But I really enjoy working in different sizes, and it's nice to have the option if I feel like, so this, for example, this is my Jamie journal, and it needs a little bit more time when I'm working in it because it's a book. It's an actual book. And so I need to figure out if I need to apply gesso to the page to cover up what's behind it, or if I need to add some gesso to give it a bit of strength. And yeah, it just requires a bit more fiddling around with. But if I feel like something nice and quick and short, then I can grab my A5 Use It Up journal and just do a quick page. So it all depends on, what kind of mood I'm feeling and what kind of time the children have allowed me to sneak away to craft. I'm adding a quote here with my white Uniball Signo Broad gel pen, and just adding a nice little bit of wordiness. Even though I do have that quote over on the right, you peeps know I like quotes, I like words. They're probably my favourite part of art journaling, and so the more the merrier. I felt like there was a really large gap in between these girls, and I was trying to figure out if I wanted to cover it up or if I wanted to keep it. So while I'm trying to work that out, I've grabbed some Posca paint pens, and I'm just doing some mark making here and there, just to kind of give a few more layers to the background and make, especially this left-hand side, not feel so flat. It just felt very, one-dimensional. And so I thought just by adding a few little extra colours and extra different types of shapes and marks, it just brings it alive a little bit. So then this page actually, it worked out quite well. I was umming and ahhing about covering up that big quote that was originally there, and sometimes it's tricky to know whether to go with your gut or to go with your head. And art journaling is one of those things that I try to go with my gut, because sometimes my head gets a little too know-it-all and it's like, well, it's not going to work. Go with your gut. You might like it, but it's not going to work. And I think it's important to just turn your brain off a little bit sometimes. That's the great thing about art journaling. You can, zone out and just play with colours and play with different textures and paints and messy things. Or if you don't like messy things, just stick and plonk all of the collagey bits and bobs. And it's a nice way to kind of shut off and zone out for a little while. And I think, the world is just a crazy place to be in. It really is. And every year seems to be getting crazier. And it's sometimes nice to just block all of the outside noise out and just have a play. Doing a monochromatic page is a great way. I feel like the priest in I've had a complete mental blank. The Princess Bride, marriage. Sorry, tangent. But a monochromatic page is a great way to have a bit of a zone out, because you can select the supplies that you're working with really easily, just based on whatever colour you've picked, and just go for it. Go wild. See what you can come up with. Here you can see I had that. It was irking me that there was so much gap there, and so I grabbed a bit of extra paint and just used my finger to smudge it around so it was a softer bit of colour rather than any harsh, paintbrushy lines. And I really love the way that turned out. to make it look like it was meant to be there, I had to add a few extra mark making things. My goodness, that was a loud car. Did you peeps hear that? That's a problem with where we're living. It's right near a main road, and there's a few people that like to, we have quite a few car hoons, especially on the night that I'm recording this. They like to come around. Now, while I have my paints out, I decided to do another page in my Jamie journal, and I'm just popping on some spare colours there, just so that I don't waste the paint, and so that while my paintbrush is wet, I can use it. I also had some spare, did I use white gesso or acrylic ink? One or the other, to do my splatters. And we've pulled out the denim journal too. I forgot I did this. I decided to just get a couple of backgrounds going because I find it easier when I've got something on the page to work with. Let me know if I'm not the only one who thinks that. Another reason why I love to have something on the page beforehand is that quite often I film when Violet is sleeping, and she sleeps right next to my craft room, and I can't use my heat gun while she's sleeping because she wakes up every time, and so it's handy to already have something in the background. Jazz hands. This page is finished. It was just a fun play around with blue. I just really enjoyed it. I'm hoping to have some more videos up for you very soon, peeps. I am thinking of going back to weekly over here. We'll see how we go. We'll see. All right, peeps, I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye.